everybody and welcome. Today's project is going to be a Shackle dog collar, and the supplies that you're going to need for this project are, I like to use 2 shackles for the hookup. So I have these 2 from Paracord Galaxy. They were kind enough to send me these a while back, and I like these silver ones because of the large hole that they have. Not all shackles come with this large hole, and I really like this large hole because I can feed the cord through with ease. I'm also going to be using a 3/4 of an inch O-ring. The cord that I'm going to be using today, I'm using 3 strands of the same cord. It's 550 Paracord, and it is Universe dip dyed from Paracord EU, and it's a very pretty cord. They have awesome dip dyed cords there. They really do, and I've got quite a few different kinds, and I really enjoy them. So I am going to be working with this today, and we can just get started. The first cord that I'm going to be working with is the cord that I am going to be doing the double cow's hitch with. So the way to start is you're going to take your end of your cord and you're going to feed it through that hole, and you're just going to pull this now to the middle at your buckle. Once you've got your cord to the middle, what you're going to do is you're going to take that same end and you're going to feed it through the same exact way that you just did, and then you're just going to pull this until it's tightly around the bottom part of the shackle. After you finished that part, what we're going to do is we're going to take our O-ring. You can fold these over, and you're just going to slip your O-ring on and just pull those cords through the O-ring. After you flipped it over, make sure that it's not crossed in any way. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the cord on our right. I like to just fold mine over, and I'm going to slip it through the U part of the shackle and pull it through. But I want to pull it towards my left. So I have my cord coming towards the left, and what I'm going to do here is I want to now take it over towards the right, and then you can loop it up again, go behind, and go from back to front through that U. You also have this loop right here that you're making right now. You can pull this loop down, pull it through, and there's your first cow's hitch. So what you can do now is just kind of swing that over towards the right, take your cord on your left, loop it up, go from front to back again, and you can pull it, and now you're going to be pulling, you're going to be in the middle of your cords with it. So you're pulling towards the left but in the middle. You're going to pull that through, and if you take your work into your other hand, now you're going to take your working cord and you're going to go towards the left, so you go over that cord that you made the loop with, and you're going to take it front, you're going to take it back to front, and you're going to pull that through. And then you have the loop that you just created. You're going to just take that cord down that loop. And that will make your second cow's hitch. Okay, once you finish that, what we can do is attach the other shackle. So this is the way I like to do it. I'm going to undo this one. I'm just going to take out the pin. And then I'm going to start with the side that has my 2 cow's hitches hooked up to it. So I'm going to hold these 2 cow's hitches nice and tight in my hand. I'm going to take this pin out. Take this end from the one that we just took apart. You're going to put the pin through. It doesn't matter which hole you choose. I like to choose the second up. And you're going to put that pin in. And there you go. You got that side done. Now we can do the other side. We're going to take this end now and we are just going to hook this one up as well with the other half of the one that we just took apart. And again, it doesn't matter which hole you put it on. Alright. And then we have our, let's see if I can get it in frame. Alright, so we have our, okay, so now we can hook it up to our jig. And the 2 cow's hitches are going to go at the top of your jig, and then the other end will go at the bottom of your jig. So it's hooked up at the top right here through the U part of the shackle, and then it's hooked up at the other end through the U part of the other shackle. So the first cord that I want to add is going to go through these 2 cow's hitches. So I'm going to go right through from right to left through these 2 cow's hitches. Just like that. I am using a paracord needle. If you don't have one, it's quite alright. You can melt the end of your cord to make it as a hard cap to push through. So I'm going to go from right to left. I'm just going to pull this through, and I'll take this to the middle of the cord at the top of my work. And for the final cord, what I want to do here is I want to take this cord and go in between this first cow's hitch, underneath this first stitch, underneath the second stitch, going towards the left, and coming up this second cow's hitch. So I'm going to go through the first one, underneath the first stitch, underneath the second stitch, go through, pull this to the middle at the top of my work. Okay guys, so once you have your work to the top and in the middle, we can roll up some of our ends. We can roll up our cord that is coming directly out of the cow's hitch on both sides, and then we can roll that second cord up. What I like to do when I'm working with multiple of the same colors is I like to roll up one small, one a little bit bigger, and then for the third one, I'm going to actually be using rubber bands, blue rubber bands around them. But you can, if you don't have rubber bands, you can roll them up, you know, to be a different size as well. Just so when you are weaving, you have a visual of which one you're supposed to grab first. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our O-ring and we're going to put it at the top of our work. I work on an inclining desk, so I need to put that clothespin to hold this little guy up here. You don't want to roll your third cord up because we're going to be pushing them through the O-ring. I should have mentioned that, sorry. And we can get started. So I'm going to be starting off on my right side. And I'm going to take my smaller bundle of cord. And what I want to do is I'm going to go under this first cord right up the middle. And then over the second cord on my left. Next, I'm going to take that smaller bundle on my left side that's coming out of my cow's hitch, and I'm going to go underneath the cord that I just worked, underneath the first cord, right up the middle, over that second cord. And you have like a triangle here. Next, I'm going to take the larger bundle of cord, and what I'm going to do here is I want to go underneath all of my work and then come right up the middle. So I'm going to go underneath. I'm going to try here. So I'm going to take my larger bundle on the right and I'm going to go underneath my work right up the middle. So you made this loop right here on your right side with the first cord you worked. You're going to take your larger bundle and you're going to go down that loop. You're going to take your larger bundle on the left now and you're going to go underneath your work right up the middle, and then you're going to go down this loop on your left side. So go underneath with the larger bundle up through the middle and down that loop. What we're going to do next is I'm going to take off my clothespin and I'm going to take my right top cord and I'm going to be pushing it through the O-ring. What I like to do is just kind of fold it up, push it through and pull it. What you're going to do next is you're going to find these two horizontal cords right directly in the middle, and you can pull up on those. I would say the color of them, but the color is going to constantly change, so you just want to find those two horizontal cords right in the middle. And you're going to take your right cord and you're going to go over and around those cords, around the bottom part of the O-ring, come up through the middle, but you want to be on the right side of your working cord, so you're going to come up through there. So take your right side cord that you just pushed through the O-ring, go around those two horizontal pieces, go around the bottom part of the O-ring, come up through the middle, and now you want to bring this cord to the right side of your working cord and then just pull it through. And now you can take your left top cord, push that through the O-ring, and you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to be coming out of the left side of your work. So you're going to find those two horizontal pieces and you want to take your left cord, you want to go around those two horizontal pieces, around the bottom part of the O-ring, come up through the middle, but then you want to be on the left side of your working cord. So go over and around those two horizontal pieces, around the bottom part of the O-ring. You want to come up through the middle, but you want to bring it to the left side of your working cord and pull it. And now we can tighten it up. As you're tightening it up, you can push these two top cords again through the O-ring. It'll help make it nice and tight and smooth as you're going along. I got all my cords rolled up now and I am ready to start again. I'm going to start on my right with my smaller bundle and I'm going to go underneath that first cord, right up the middle, over that second cord. Next I'm going to take the one on the left, go underneath the cord that I just worked, right up the middle again and over that second cord. And now I'm going to take my larger bundle on my right side, and I'm going to go underneath my work and right up the middle, and then down this loop on my right. Take the one on the left now, go underneath, right up the middle, and then down that loop on my left side. Now I want to find these two horizontal pieces directly in the middle. I'm going to take my blue band bundle on my right side, and I'm going to go around those cords and just come out the right. So I'm going to go over and around and out the right. Take the one on the left now. I'm going to go over and around and out the left. So over, around them, and out the left. And then you can tighten it up. Once it's tightened up, we can start the weave all over again. So I'm going to start with my smaller bundle on my right, go underneath, right up the middle, and over. Take my cord on the left of the smaller bundle, go underneath the cord that I just worked, right up the middle, and then over. Next, take my larger bundle on the right side, go underneath my work, right up the middle, and then down this loop on my right. Take the one on my left, go underneath, right up the middle, and down this loop. Find those two horizontal pieces in the middle again. I'm taking the blue banded bundle, and I'm going to go over and around and out my right. Take the one on the left, go over and around and out my left, and then you can tighten it up. So I went down a couple of more weaves to show a bigger pattern, and this is what it's starting to look like so far, and I'm going to continue this weave all the way down the collar, and when I get to the end I'll show you guys how I do my tie off and what it looks like when it's completely done. Alright, so I'm at the end of the collar now, and I took it off the jig, and now we're going to want to weave in the top cords. So you have these two cords right here that are coming directly out of the top part of your collar. Those are the only two that you'll weave in. The other ones that are coming out of the side will cut and melt them where they are. So I'm going to be starting off on my right side, and I am using a paracord needle. It is handy for these particular buckles. So you have a very small gap in between the buckle and your work. You're going to go in that gap with both top cords, and you're just going to bring it from the front to the back of the collar. Alright, once you have those two cords going from the front to the back, what we're going to do here is we're going to take the same two cords, and we have our loop here that we started with when we first started to hook up the shackle to our cord. And what we want to do with this loop is we want to take our cords that we just worked from front to back. We actually want to also go up this cord, which is very tight, and what we want to do is just pull those cords up and through that loop. And this is where a paracord needle does come in handy, but if you don't have one, just continue to try and work it through. And again, you're going to do the same with the other cord. You're just going to slip it through. And I'm going to get this through. Now that I got that taken care of, I'm going to start on my sides. I'm going to make sure that everything is nice and tight. And I'm going to cut about 1/4 of the way up from the collar. I want to fray them out, and the nice thing about these dip dye cords, they fray out really nicely. You don't have to do a lot of work to get them to bush out. So now that I got them frayed out, I'm going to start with my top one, and I'm going to melt that one. And then I'm just going to squish that down. Do the same with the one on the bottom. I'll do the same on the opposite side. Once you've done the two sides, you can start on the middle. I'm just going to cut and burn one at a time. I'm going to go up maybe a little bit longer than a quarter of the way from the color. I'll do the same for the opposite side. I took my extra buckles off. When you are not... So if you don't connect your pieces together, remember to put the pin back into the U, because this area might slip off the U if you don't have that pin in there. So just be aware that if you have it laying out flat, to make sure that that pin is in there. If it's connected, no big deal. But if it's not connected, you want that pin in there to make sure that it just doesn't slide off. And I mean, there's like a knot or a bump right here on the end, so it might not slip off, but I wouldn't take the chance. You did all this work. You don't want it to slip off on you. Okay, so once you're at this point, you can go and attach it to your dog and use it as is. It should be perfectly fine. I do like to put a little bit of Gorilla Glue on the ends that I melted just for extra security, and that's what I'm going to do now. And I just put a little bit on the ends, and my glue doesn't want to cooperate. Okay, there we go. So I put a little bit on the ends that I melted, and then I rub them around with my finger just to spread the glue out, because you don't need a whole bunch of this glue, you just need a little bit. And I like to rub it on the ends in the middle, as well as a little bit on the sides of where I melted the cord. And then I will let this dry. I do use clear, non-foaming Gorilla Glue. Remember, if you get this, please remember to get the non-foaming. I've used the foaming on accident before, and it made such a mess. So you want that non-foaming kind, and I'm going to let this dry for a couple hours, and then I will show you guys what it doesn't want to come out. Oh, there it goes. So I'm going to let this dry, and I will let you guys see what the finished result looks like.